Australian viewers of the Mark Dolan show don't want to see Harry and Meghan. The reason why it went down well in 2018, Paul, is because the Australian public didn't know Meghan Markle very well. Well, they know her now. And what do they know her to be? A gold-digging grifter.
I love you.
These two are literally living a fantasy now. There's no royal visit. They don't even have a charity. This is all just a private money-making tool.
More than 40,000 people have now added their names to something that's becoming impossible to ignore. And the number keeps climbing. This isn't some fleeting internet outrage that burns out by morning. No. This is a movement gaining real traction, and it's putting serious pressure on how Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are being received ahead of their rumoured trip to Australia.
Why on earth should these two be given taxpayer-funded security in the first place? They are no longer working royals.
The message behind it? Unfiltered. No spin, no softening. The petition makes one thing crystal clear: no taxpayer money, no official welcome, and zero government involvement for what's supposed to be a private trip. But here's what's wild: the speed. Hundreds of new signatures are being added every single day.
Australians don't want them there. They're not interested. And they've raised a petition in Australia to say, look, if they do come, free country, but if they do come, they're coming as private citizens. This is not a royal tour, and we do not want a single penny of Australian taxpayers' money spent on the police protecting the...
Momentum doesn't just appear out of thin air. People are paying attention now. It all started quietly, back in November 2025, with a Sydney-based group called Beyond Australia. For months, almost nothing happened. The petition sat at around 200 signatures, barely moving. Then mid-March arrived, and something shifted. The numbers didn't just rise, they exploded. From a few thousand to over 40,000 in a breathtakingly short time. Something clearly triggered the public's interest. And it happened in a big way.
Just rack off. That's what furious Australians are going to be saying to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after this astonishing leak has just proved that the couple have been lying about the security costs on next week's fake royal tour.
The PR and the pomp and pageantry almost of being part of the royal family, but they don't really want any of the responsibility, do they? They like to turn up to events, have a few photos taken, look like the charming, lovely people that they wish to present themselves as, and then go home, then go back to California.
And that silence? It's speaking louder than any official statement ever could. Not a single major politician has stepped forward to openly support the visit. And people are noticing. Now, let's be real for a moment. 40,000 signatures in a country of over 26 million people isn't exactly a national uprising. But it's not nothing. It's big enough to get attention. Big enough to make politicians think twice. And big enough to quietly shift how this entire situation is being handled behind closed doors. It creates pressure, even for those who'd rather just stay quiet and avoid the topic altogether.
Can I just tell you that Australia has tackled illegal immigration very successfully? And I think given the fact that Harry and Meghan are on their way, I think it's time to reactivate Operation Sovereign Borders, Paul. Airstrikes, get the boats out.
What makes this truly stand out is the contrast with the past. Rewind to 2018. Harry and Meghan land in Australia, and the energy is completely different. Huge crowds. Genuine warmth. Everything felt positive, welcoming. People showed up in massive numbers, excited just to catch a glimpse of them.
I can't imagine why nobody's going, can you? I mean, it sounds so interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds so interesting. From a man who can't keep an employee to save his life, talking about workplace mental health.
That moment felt like real support. No hesitation. No pushback. There's even that famous image of Harry standing outside in the rain, talking to farmers facing brutal conditions. No umbrella. No rush. Just a man connecting with people. He told them directly, "You must not silently suffer. Asking for help was one of the best decisions I ever made." That line stuck. It gave him a deeply relatable image. But now, everything feels different. The tone has shifted. The reactions aren't the same. And the support doesn't look nearly as solid as it once did. Especially when you factor in things Harry later admitted, like how privilege, in his own words, can give you blinders.
need $3 million just to survive each year, just to meet their minimum security needs. So I really think we can't frame this in any other way other than a pay for play, a desperate, grab for cash. And I think that just comes down to it, that they really need the bucks.
Now fast forward. Mid-April 2026. Same country, same person, same conversation about mental health. But the environment? Totally different. Prince Harry is scheduled to appear at Melbourne Park for something called the InterEdge Psychosocial Safety Summit. The event is tied to Lifeline, a highly respected organization focused on crisis support and prevention. And let's be clear, no one here is questioning the work they do. The concern people are raising is about everything surrounding the event, not the charity itself.
Obviously, what's going on here is some guy in Australia has gone, I'm starting up a wellness retreat. Who can I get to come and promote it and see if I can get some publicity for it? I know. I'll ring up the grifters in chief. I'll pay them a couple of £100,000. They'll come to Australia and I'll get loads of publicity, and lots of idiots might go there because they might think it's the home of, celebrity wellness. And that's what it's all about. It's completely a commercial deal. They're trying to make out that it's a semi-royal visit, right? It's not. It's literally hoping against hope that they get a free goodie bag at the end of it that might have a Rolex in it. I mean, it's that shut.
Let's talk about the ticket structure, because this is where things start to feel off. The original pricing was steep. Platinum tickets came in at over $2,300 Australian. Gold tickets? Close to $2,000. That already put the event in a premium category, something not everyone could easily afford. But then, just 9 days before the summit, something changed. Quietly, 2 new ticket tiers appeared on the booking page. A delegate pass for just under $1,000. And a virtual option for around $500. Here's the part that got people talking. The delegate pass undercut the gold ticket by more than half. That's not a small adjustment. That's a major pricing strategy shift.
Money spinning tawdry event will be for 300 women, and we estimate that Meghan will probably make £100,000 from that weekend. Okay, that's good money for a couple. Morning yoga classes, sound healing, a manifestation session. What the hell is that? What's going on, Samara?
Meghan is trading trash for cash at this point. I mean, seriously.
Even outlets like the International Business Times UK pointed this out, asking why these tiers were added so late. And so far, no clear public explanation from the organizers or Harry's team. No official sales numbers. No breakdown. Just silence. Meanwhile, reports suggest Harry's speaking fee for events like this lands somewhere around $50,000 Australian dollars. That matches what he reportedly earned during his appearance at the IAP Global Privacy Summit earlier that year. Nothing confirmed directly, but that figure keeps showing up across multiple reports.
Sold, 100,000 quid's worth of jam, quite frankly.
No way.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And I see that she's off to Australia. She's copyrighted the As Ever brand, and she's going to land in Australia and she's going to get booed because people hate the woman. She's ghastly. She's toxic. She's horrible. She's ruined a young, once promising man who's now a husk of his former self, who cannot even stand up for it.
An online psychotic sycophant of Meghan, you're more than welcome to come. But if you're a professional woman that happens to work in a media career, no, sorry, we'll take your money, then we'll kick you out. It's honestly, this has just got disaster written all.
Then another detail adds a whole new layer. According to commentary from Paula Froelich at Inside Scoop, the organizers may have brought Harry in as a last-minute replacement for Deepak Chopra, after Chopra's name started appearing in discussions connected to the Jeffrey Epstein files earlier in 2026.
The ridiculousness of the petition. He said it was a stupid assertion. In their response, batting back that Australians had dared to say, hang on a minute, we don't want our money being spent on these two. So they were very, very rude with the reaction. Any other normal person would have been like, oh, look, okay, look, I do understand there are concerns, but we will be paying our own way. No, they came out with quite a combative statement that was very, very rude towards the Australians. Patronising, I would say.
Her wording? She called it a Hail Mary. This wasn't part of the original plan. And this is where the contrast really starts to hit people. Back in 2018, Harry stood in the rain in Dubbo, speaking directly to farmers, saying, Asking for help was one of the best decisions I ever made. That moment felt open, accessible, grounded. Now, that same message is being delivered from a stage where even the cheapest in-person ticket is close to $1,000. That shift in setting is what people are reacting to. It's not about the message changing. It's about who can actually afford to hear it now. And again, this isn't about attacking Lifeline or what they stand for. The real question people are asking is simple. When did something that once felt open to everyone become locked behind high-tier access?
I think somehow that Australians are a little naive, a little easy to skin as far as flogging her as ever merchandise. I think she thinks we're, hicks down under that won't see through it all and be just so honoured that she's graced us with her spreads. No excitement, there's no build, and it's almost like they don't want to be associated with her, with Meghan Markle, because it's really bad for their brand.
And now, things start connecting on a much bigger scale. There's another timeline running alongside all of this. One date keeps coming up, October 3rd, 2025. That date matters more than it seems at first glance. Because shortly after that, attention shifts to Meghan Markle and a separate event in Sydney called Her Best Life. Scheduled for April 17th to 19th at the Intercontinental Sydney Coogee Beach, this retreat is being organised by a woman named Gemma O'Neill. And just to clear up any confusion, this is not the same person as media personality Jackie Henderson, who stepped away from a similarly named podcast earlier in 2026. Gemma O'Neill is running this retreat independently through her own company.
Crow's Besties event, which was in 2023. It's basically an influencer blackout. Now, the difference, the contrast with Meghan is the fact that there is nothing. I am shocked. There is no excitement. There's no build-up. There's no one willing to break their silence, anyone of note, to say that they're actually going to the event.
And the timeline is what's raising eyebrows. Because on that exact date, October 3rd, 2025, she reportedly purchased a 3-bedroom cottage in Fitzroy Falls for just over $1 million Australian dollars. That detail alone might not seem huge. But when you line it up with everything else happening around these events, people start asking questions. And once those questions start, they don't slow down easily.
Questions are being asked about the appropriateness of this visit to Australia now. There's a cost of living crisis, and yet there you go. Meghan is swanning around like a Z-list or Z-list celebrity, as you say in America, charging money for selfies, essentially, at this Sydney retreat, where people are paying thousands of dollars and so forth. They clearly realise that they have no other role in life. There's nothing else that they can really do except for ape the monarchy, but they were supposed to have separated themselves from the monarchy.
Now things get a lot more complicated. And this is where the timeline really matters. Reports from outlets like Daily Mail Australia and GB News confirm a sequence of events that has people seriously questioning what's going on behind the scenes. Just 7 weeks after that October 2025 property purchase, another major development appears. On November 25, 2025, a separate talent company linked to Gemma O'Neill, known as GMI Agency, enters voluntary liquidation. And this isn't speculation or online gossip. These are official filings through ASIC. Documented, public, and very real.
They've hit back furiously, saying, no. Okay, 32,000 people have signed this petition, but 25 million Australians haven't. So therefore, they're very popular. When they get to Australia, those two, they are going to get food.
These two cretins literally accuse the British royal family of institutional racism as Prince Philip lay on his deathbed as the late Queen Elizabeth II was battling bone cancer. Prince William will never forgive them, and you want to bring them back to us at a time, by the way, when their charity ventures have failed, when their business ventures have failed, when they've been dumped by Netflix.
At this point, more voices started stepping in, and not all of them were supportive.
Fast forward again. February 20th, 2026. O'Neill reportedly tells administrators she cannot help repay the company's debts. The reasons? Blunt. No personal savings. Limited income. A failed attempt to refinance her Sydney apartment. These details are all part of the official record, not pulled from rumors.
Their skin is so thin, they are so easily triggered that it's just beyond them to actually stay silent, no matter what the consequences are.
He loves it, doesn't he? I mean, that probably is what keeps him going. He's so sad and miserable in his own life because he's basically Meghan's spare handbag that he just feels better when he, slags off, as you said. He loves criticising everybody except for himself.
Then, just days later on February 24th, 2026, Grant Thornton Australia files a statutory creditors report. And this is where the numbers really jump out. Total debts, over 546,000 Australian dollars. Out of that, more than 543,000 is reportedly owed to the Australian Taxation Office. That's an enormous portion concentrated in one place. But what really caught attention wasn't just the debt. It was a specific detail flagged by the administrators. A 7-figure commission payment connected to an unnamed client. And here's the key. It reportedly had no formal loan agreement, no clear commercial reasoning, and no obvious benefit to the company. That kind of note in an official report? That's what gets people asking very fast questions. The administrators also suggested the company may have been financially unstable as far back as December 2024. Line that up with everything else, and the timeline starts looking much more serious than it first seemed.
Protect the public from what exactly? I mean, they think there's going to be so many people there, they'd need to set up railings, they'd need crowd control? Absolutely not. The few people that might turn up to see Harry and Meghan, I don't think are really going to have nice things to say about them, but that's all it's going to be. A boo here and there. So what, they've got police protecting them from people booing? Good luck with that.
Exactly, and this is all to protect their ego.
I mean, all this guy needed to say was, this trip is not going to be used using any Australian taxpayers' money. End. He didn't have to say anything else. Oh, there's only 35,000, but there's 27 million people. He didn't have to say that, and that's a bit churlish.